Ladies and gentlemen, your Chicago Bears are 4-2 to start the year, heading into the bye week. What a showing over in London. Jack Lomax here. I'm John Prisnowski. This is the Bear Necessities podcast. Man, how does it feel to be a Bears fan right now, Jack? How does it feel?
Phenomenal. I mean, our fight song needs some work, but yeah, phenomenal. I mean, who would have thought that we were coming into the bye week going 4-2? Well, I did, because you can go check the receipts. But yeah, it's a great feeling after all we've been through with that offensive line in the beginning of the year. We're looking good. Looking good, John.
This is the first time the Bears have won 3 games in a row since the 2020 season. Also, this is the best start since the 2020 season for the Bears. They started 5-1 that year, ultimately finished 8-8, losing to the Saints in the wild card round. But I mean, this really has gone exactly the way that most of us, really wanted the season to start heading into the bye weekend. I mean, really, best case scenario was for the Bears to be at 4-2 at this exact spot before playing the Commanders in DC. Just what, 11 days from now, 11 days from now, we're going to DC to play Jaden Daniels, and we can have the Jaden versus Caleb Williams debate then. But right now, let's just focus on our guy. Caleb just absolutely, I mean, what we thought was his best career game against the Panthers, he even topped that on Sunday. 23 for 29, 23 for 29, 226 yards, 4 touchdowns, 124 passer rating. He completed 79% of his passes. Those 4 touchdowns, Jack, that's tied for most of all time in any international game across the pond overseas. Guy also ran for 56 yards. Do the Bears have their guy? Can we put this to rest? Are we sure the Bears still made the right decision?
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I know we were a bit nervous. Everyone's seeing Jaden Daniels stats, and look, the Bears missed out on Jaden Daniels. Respectfully, I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan, but fuck Jaden Daniels. We have Caleb Williams. Let's go, baby! This is our boy.
I know it's so. I know it. We talked about this last couple weeks on the pod. Like, it's so easy for us to have wandering eyes and to see, what other guys are doing on other teams. But this is like truly the first time in my lifetime watching a Bears offense be a modern NFL offense. I mean, like, I know we were pounding the table week 1, week 2 on the Titans and the Colts, and really, this is the first time in a while, at least for me, that the offense has been able to adapt and adjust and make changes and improve their personnel, improve the play calling. And like, we're finally seeing it. I guess I really have a question. Are the Bears a playoff team right now? Because to me, they're not a great team yet, but they're a good team. Why they're a good team? Because they're not a bad team. Because they're beating all the bad teams. They're beating the Rams, the Titans, the Panthers. Bears teams in the past would just maybe skate by those teams, and we would still have lingering questions. Is Justin the guy? Is the offensive line going to work? And what's going on with this? What's going on with that? Like, the Bears are beating the bad teams, and it's not like they're just beating them. Like, this is the second week in a row where the Bears have kicked ass, like, dominated their opponent. So, all Bears fans out there, all the hate that you've been getting, it's against the Jags. Yeah, well, it's against the Panthers. It's against the Titans and the Rams.
I'm still hearing
that.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, fuck off. What do you want what do you want them to do? Like, do you literally just want them to skate by? I don't understand. And honestly, these are people that enjoy watching us be miserable. So the fact that Bears fans are like actually having some success and having some joy in their life, they just want to tear us down. And I'm here to tell you, don't let them, Jack. But going back to my question, are the Bears a playoff team right now?
I think so. I sat with my good friend yesterday, Tazzy Mack, and we were looking at the schedule. I'm trying to put my Realistic head on and say, let's look at the schedule. We have the toughest schedule going into the rest of the season based on current win percentage from the teams that are playing in 2024 right now and how they're performing. So that being said, are the games that we're going to drop? Absolutely, there is. Is that going to prevent us from making it into the playoffs? I don't think so. The only thing that's going to make us it's going to be a struggle is the strength of the NFC North right now. Like every team is positive. There's no other division in the league right now that's got this strength. So it's right now we sit on 8th. I think we were 8th in the conference standings, and we get pipped right now by Green Bay.
You know what's crazy is this is the best Bears start to a season we've had since 2020, since 2018, if you want to go all the way back. And really, the only thing that would be stopping those Bears teams in the past and this Bears team right now is the Bears. Like, that would be the only thing stopping this team. And right now, it's not the Bears that are in the Bears' way. It's the NFC North. It's the gauntlet of death right now. I don't like this would fucking happen. Like, the Bears are 4-2, and but the whole good. It's literally the gauntlet of death. I don't know what else to describe it as. The NFC North right now, and I was going to wait till we got to some tweets that blew our mind later in the pod, but the NFC North right now is 17-5. It's the best start in any division since the NFL realigned back in 2002. The gauntlet of death is what I'm calling it. And granted, the Bears do not play a division opponent until week 11 when they host the Packers. But like these next 3 games after the bye, Bears are at DC to take on the Commanders. Then they go to Arizona to take on Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. And then they're at home on November 10th for a noon game against the Patriots. After that, shit starts getting real. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we're 4-2, could we squeeze out two more wins? Like, we're looking good.
3. I think we can do 3. I think
you think we can do 3?
I think we can do 7-2. I've checked the receipts. I've said we can get 10 wins. Based on what these teams are doing, I am a big fan of the Washington Commanders and their turnaround. They just lose defensive tackle
Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, that's a huge loss. Huge
loss.
It is.
Huge loss.
I mean, their offense is firing off on all cylinders, but if their defense isn't going to be able to handle our offense, which, let's be real, they are doing really well right now. Even our offensive line, fucking knock on wood, but we're looking good. And then
give them a little golf clap.
Drake May, bang average. Absolutely bang average. He's Will Levis 2.0. I'm not worried about the Patriots in any way, shape, or form. Who was our other guys? Kyler Murray. No, stop it. Absolute amateur team.
He can still be dangerous. Let's go back to the game before we start looking ahead, because I know it's really exciting right now and it's so easy to look ahead. But let's go back to the game. Obviously, Caleb, and let's talk about his progress over the last 4 games. First 3 games, some growing pains for sure. A little erotic here and there, but erotic.
Erotic. He was very erotic.
Wrong word choice there. But lately it has been quite erotic watching him, I should say, because over the last 4 games, Jack, he's posted a 9 touchdown to 2 interception ratio. I mean, again, can we stop the Bears? Should have kept Justin Fields. I really think the Bears made the wrong decision here. Can we put that to rest? And look what Justin's doing. Justin's doing great. He's playing team ball, leaning on the defense, rushing for touchdowns. Like, that's still same old Justin Fields. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the Steelers. But Bears got our guy. Ryan Poles made the right business decision. Can we all come together and agree on that the Bears made the right decision?
It's not,
and let's move forward.
Yeah. There's other things, mitigating factors as well. I mean, let's be real. Caleb Williams is doing fantastic. That offensive line, for all the shit we gave them for the first 2-3 weeks, they've stepped up. And I think Pryor is a big part of that. I think he's been phenomenal coming in.
That was Tevin Jenkins' best game by far. I sent you a little clip on Twitter
he's a mountain.
of him just mauling guys, just beating them down to the ground. Offensive line has definitely improved their play. Definitely still some work to go. And I know we're so over the moon right now on this offense, and I'm here to tell you guys, like, it's not going to be this easy. Past week 10, past week 11, like when shit starts getting real, when the schedule starts getting real, and the Bears start playing division games, there are going to be bumpy times ahead. So, like, we do need to enjoy this. We need to enjoy this feeling because realistically, like, there are going to be there are going to be some bumpy times ahead. But like, it's good, and this is what I've been trying to hammer down and preach these last couple episodes. Like, this is the time where the Bears need to find their identity. They need to work out the kinks, and they need to find some confidence because, like, pitter-pattering through the schedule to get to the division games, like, that wasn't going to work. And the fact that we find ourselves right now where we are is just best case scenario. Can we talk about Cole Kmet for a second really quick? Have you ever seen a tight end catch 2 touchdowns in a row and then be the backup long snapper? The backup long snapper when our long snapper goes down with an injury. I mean, phenomenal job. 5 grabs, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is Cole Kmet a top 5 tight end in this league when he's fully healthy, performing like he is?
Yes.
Right now he's outplaying Travis Kelce right now. I'm just letting everybody know that right now.
I'll tell you 2 things. Number 1, he's not blocking. He's not being used as a blocker. They're saying, you know what? I don't know what that meeting was. I keep hearing about these meetings that the team captains are having with Shane Waldron, but that kind of goes into my number 2. Kudos to Shane Waldron. All right, I'm going to say that. I haven't been a fan of this guy. I've been calling him Luke Getsy 2.0, but this guy is listening to his team and he's saying, all right, I do need to adapt to my team. This team isn't going to adapt to my playbook, which is what I think Luke Getsy had an issue with. Luke Getsy tried to make everyone fit his playbook and not play to his team's strengths. Yep. I think he's gone in here and said, Cole Kmet, he is not a blocker. Get that big bastard out there and let him catch some balls. And he is absolutely, and he is so good to watch. It is so good to watch.
If you put it within range of 85, he's going to catch it. Like, he has phenomenal hands. Phenomenal hands for a big guy.
Yeah, absolutely insane wingspan.
We finally got our Keenan Allen game. We've been asking for it. We finally got it. Keenan, 5 grabs, 41 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he was 3 for 3 or 4 catches on 3rd down. I mean, like, that is what we brought. You know, the potential future Hall of Famer Keenan Allen, Mr. 13 in for. He is Caleb's 3rd down blanket. You want to talk about a guy with even better hands than Kmet? It's 13. And you know, last couple episodes, I've been saying, you know, I'm worried about Keenan. He really hasn't been in the game plan much. Is he still, you know, is that heel foot issue still, you know, hurting him, lingering?
Is he going to get traded? That's what I was thinking.
I could even if Keenan still didn't perform this last weekend, I don't think the Bears make that move. Like, you make that move in the offseason just to flip him mid-year. Right. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So,
yes, it would.
And first time, I mean, the NFL has been playing in London now, 6, 7, 10 years, something like that. I mean, it's been a while since the international series. This was the first time that any player, any team has done the T-sip celebration. So credit Mr. Allen. I know you're not a fan. I'm sure you're cringy. Just like, cringy. I know. Bloody Americans. So stupid, right?
I just watched a video on Chicago Bears Instagram where it's like he's mic'd up and he's like, what celebration are you going to do? He's like, tea party. We're going to have a tea party. And Khalil Herbert's there trying to do a tea party, a British impression. I'm like, sit down, you bench player. But yeah, he did it. I mean, sat down, legs crossed, everyone came in. It was.
I know, I'm sure it was cringe. I get it. And really quick, going back, I completely agree. I think we were pretty tough on Shane Waldron the first couple of games, especially week 1, week 2 against the Titans, against the Colts. But I mean, can we talk about that first touchdown? That play design to Cole Kmet where Caleb faked the screen one way. Sorry, oops. Faked the screen one way, and then he faked the screen the other way, and then hit Cole Kmet like right up the middle seam.
So good.
I think, honestly, that was one of the best play design and executed plays by a Bears offense like I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever seen a Bears offense be able to pull off a play like that? I mean, and do it so seamlessly. Like it was, I don't know. I've
been in America 13 years and I've never seen that. That looks great. It looks great. It's the first time that I have watched a Bears game, this and the last game actually. First time I've been watching a Bears game where I've been like, when our player Caleb, 18, when he's releasing that ball, I'm not worried about what our offense is doing. Like, if he's going to get overthrown, like, where's this ball going? I've been like that 13 years. Jay Cutler, Mitch, you name it, Brian Bloody Hoyer, you name any quarterback that we've had in the last 13 years, I've been like, no, this ball's going to get intercepted. These last 2 weeks, I've been like, who's catching it this time? It has been a delight to watch.
I mean, the interception that Caleb had, where like it was very obvious he like sailed it, underthrew it. I was worried as soon as the ball went up in the air. And I'm like, this is too good to be true. But other than that, like every time 18 dropped back to pass, you knew something good was going to happen, or like you knew he was going to make good decisions, which is what he has been doing. And another tweet that just absolutely blew our mind. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this over the last couple days. This is the first time the Bears offense have scored 35 or more points in consecutive games since 2013. This is also the first time the offense has scored 5 offensive touchdowns in back-to-back games since 1956. Elvis was number 1 on the pop charts back then, Jack. Just want to throw that out there.
Is Caleb on track to hit those stats that the Bears are the only team that doesn't have a 4,000 yard?
I still, I need to look that up. That's a great question. I still think he's a little behind, not by much though. I mean, right now he's already the best Bears rookie quarterback by a mile, and he's going to shatter Eric Kramer and Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields records. Like where things are heading right now.
Let me check. I'm really interested to see that actually.
I honestly just think that's insane. The 35 or more consecutive points by the offense, first time in 12 years, 13 years. Wild.
So
stuff.
he is at currently 1,317 yards, 9 touchdowns. I don't think how much were the touchdowns? Was it 30 touchdowns? Is that what you needed in that stat?
I think it was 30 touchdowns. The Bears' rookie record for touchdowns is 11, I believe, by Mitch. So I think Caleb's going to be good in that regard. But yeah, I mean, again, just really quick, I want to give a little tip of the cap to Mr. Waldron, who you alluded to it, Jack. He has tried to make like the system work more towards his players compared to the guy we had before. He was trying to fit like a square peg into a round hole. It's just vastly different, and gotta give some props to Waldron, who I again I don't know if you guys find yourselves on YouTube. Go watch Tim Jenkins' quarterback analysis videos. Go watch JT O'Sullivan, the quarterback school. I love watching the tape, watching Caleb perform and watching what these guys are watching tape on, seeing how the offense is run, how it's executed, and like why Waldron's calling the plays that he's calling. And they're really innovative, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air, and it's something that I'm not used to. I'm sure it's not what you're used to, Jack, and it's been just really cool. Got to give our props also to the defense. This is the 12th game in a row that they've held their opponents under 21 points, 12 games in a row. That's the longest active streak in the NFL.
Trying to find my receipts to say that I've been saying it since day one. The Chicago Bears are the best defense in the NFL. I'm telling you, the receipts are on here somewhere. I just need everyone to know that that's something that I've been preaching since day one, and I need the recognition.
A lot of people were worried that Brisker wasn't playing, didn't make the trip over to London in concussion protocol. And then news came late that Tyreek Stevenson wasn't going to play, that he was doubtful. Kyler Gordon
Yeah.
has a little hamstring injury, although I think he's fine. I follow him on social media, and he was like out on the town in London after the game. So I'm not sure how serious his injury is, if he was, actually really hurt. And then let's just go overall team effort. The Bears were only penalized twice for 10 yards the other day.
I mean, about that. Yeah.
I mean, just phenomenal there. Honestly,
well disciplined. And this comes back to this conversation that we've had multiple times off camera and in the episodes. How important is Eberflus? I know we talk about this. You can't keep a head coach because of the defense, but realistically, like the stat that you sent me, the defense have held their opponents again under 21 points, 12 games in a row. Longest active streak in the NFL. That is an absolutely insane stat. And that does come down to the coaching. Yes, our players are phenomenal, but you put another defensive coordinator into this scheme and have them manage the Chicago Bears. I don't think they do that. And so I've got to give my props to my boy Eberflus. I think we disagree on where he is as a head coach, but I think we can both agree that as a defensive play caller, he is phenomenal.
Well, what I will say is this is the first game that and I really don't want to jinx myself by saying this, but this is really the first game in a while where I might be turning the corner, because he coached a phenomenal game. The Bears have shown to make really good adjustments at halftime. This is another game where the Bears started a little slow in the first quarter, and then they made adjustments, and like they just don't look back. And Eberflus is able to make adjustments at halftime to clean things up. Like they are able to do that. And and although the Bears were listed as the home team, this still was a road game. And Eberflus teams in the past, they're just not a good road team. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they technically went on the road, they went to another country and dominated and kicked the Jaguars' ass, again, just kind of proves to me that, maybe Eberflus isn't as bad of a head coach as I might perceive him to be.
I will say he did miss a challenge. And so he's still needs to work on his challenges.
Yes.
A catch that was blatantly off the ground. I don't know why anyone was he's looking. Was there a challenge flag coming out? Yeah. His hand wasn't even near his pocket.
That is the time to be aggressive and throw the challenge flag, and he just failed. Completely agree.
No players were telling him. That's what
completely agree.
Players to say should I challenge it, and nobody was saying it, so he didn't.
So obviously we talked a lot about the good. Caleb, Keenan, Cole Kmet, Shane Waldron, DeAndre Swift, another great game, 91 yards, touchdown. Swift has really turned it around. Really happy for him. We also talked a little bit about some concerns, the Kyler Gordon injury. We don't think it's too serious. Another slow start in the first quarter. I was a little worried when the Jags went up 3-0. They were outplaying the Bears the first 10 minutes of the game. Yeah. But then the Bears took over and really did not look back. Mm-hmm. And the last thing I want to talk about, and you mentioned his name earlier in the show, but I'm going to say it again. Talk about a guy that, in my opinion, again, should be traded because he deserves an opportunity, is Khalil Herbert. Again, the only action that 24 saw the other day was the onside kick return, and he recovered the ball. That was the only time I saw 24 touch the ball the other day. And it's a shame because it's not Khalil Herbert's fault. It's not his fault that he is just not being used in this offense. It's not Tyler Scott's fault he's not being used in the offense. It's not Gerald Everett's fault he really isn't being used in this offense. I was joking about it the other week. We have so many guys like this. We have so many dudes that want the ball, that want to eat. We can't call an Uber for all these guys. We got to call the Uber XL. All these guys can't fit in the same car, Jack. We just have too many guys. We have too many guys that want the ball, that want to eat. And Khalil Herbert, honestly, I honestly think the Bears can get a 4th round pick for him. I really do.
I'll tell you mine. I think this is the perfect fit for him. Cowboys.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle, it was absolute trash. And then
Zeke, who's clearly his best days are behind him.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see before the trade deadline what moves are made, and does Poles go out and get a big fish? Like, I mean, if the team continues to play well like they are, like, will he be even more aggressive than he has in years past at the deadline? I'm very interested to see, and also the Bears. There's something about that second round pick. We have two of them. This year we have our own and we have Carolina's. What?
May as well throw it out there. How about this? Would you do this trade? Bearing in mind, Dallas Cowboys are in trade hell. Not trade hell. Cap space hell.
Yeah.
Khalil Herbert, second round pick.
Zach Martin.
Parsons. Zach Martin would be great. I mean, Parsons.
Okay. No, they're going to want more for Parsons. Honestly, they're going to want more,
they want more, but they can't get him.
I know.
He's going to want for free.
I think realistically, I rather because Matt Pryor is not the long-term answer at guard.
No, he isn't.
We know that the Nate Davis experience is over. Like, that's gone. It's over. It's done with. Like, the Bears just are going to eat that money and move on. And, honestly, props to them for, like, not continuing to try what clearly isn't a good move.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the Bears still need offensive line help. They still need help in the trenches. And I think they go out and get a big body up front to help Caleb. I really do. A guy that should be on the trade block, another team that should be sellers. And I know he's not a household name that probably a lot of people know, but he's made back-to-back Pro Bowls. Offensive guard for the Browns, Wyatt Teller. Dude is a mammoth. Him and Tevin Jenkins on opposite sides. That would elevate 65, Coleman Shelton, who, by the way, has played much better the last couple of weeks.
I'm gonna
65 has played much better.
Let's take that one
much
back.
Better.
Yep.
He's still very undersized. He still is going to lose one-on-ones with I'm happy Jonathan Allen. I mean, it's unfortunate that he's out the rest of the year, but selfishly, it's good because 65 was not going to handle Jonathan Allen one-on-one in Week 8 against the Commanders at that defensive tackle position. So, I'm just saying, like a guy like that.
Wyatt Teller's in IR right now.
Okay, well, never mind. But maybe Zach Martin, sure. Like, what do we got to do to get Zach Martin out of Dallas?
I don't mind that Wyatt Teller. Yes, he's on IR. He was placed on IR 20 days ago. So he's realistically, they've got Michael Dunn there, Zach Zinter. I think I've seen that name bouncing around a lot.
He's a good player. I'm just saying, like, I know it's not the sexy move, but like, the
we
Bears
don't need the sexy move. We need the trenches done. That's what we've always been worried about.
Well, the Bears finally got the quarterback right.
Yeah.
I mean, knocking on wood, the Bears finally got that right.
Yeah.
It's what we haven't been able to get right our whole lifetime. And your eyes are watching it. My eyes are watching it. He's it. Like, we got our guy. Like, he's going to be here for 10, 15 years. 18 is the guy. It's so obvious. So the hardest part is to get that position right. It's the hardest position in a lot of sports. So now it's about building everything around him to make him even more comfortable.
Well, we've done it. And that team chemistry is there.
Exactly. So now's the time to not get the sexy names. Now's the time to get the big boys up front. Now's the time to solidify the trenches. And that's why I think the Bears should go out and get one of those dudes at the deadline.
Especially in those teams like Dallas who are looking absolute trash right now. Cowboys are clearly not going to make it to the playoffs this year. They look Browns are looking terrible. They're not going to make the playoffs. Sell some players. You're in cap space hell with Deshaun Watson's miserable contract. So, trade these players that are available, especially those players that are offensive linemen. You're not losing a specials. You're not losing Amari Cooper. You're not losing Jerry Jeudy. You're losing a lineman.
Some other tweets that blew our mind from the other day. Keenan Allen and Cole Kmet become the first Bears pair of receivers to haul in multiple receiving touchdowns in the same game. You have to go all the way back to 1970 when Jim Seymour and Dick Gordon scored a 31-13 win over the Bills at Wrigley Field. That's right. Crazy. 78.7% of NFL teams who start the year 4-2 make the playoffs. Jack, how does that feel? Does that ring to the ears?
Good, baby.
And going back to the NFC North, who again, the gauntlet of death is what I'm calling it. They're 17-5 right now against the best division, best start of any division since NFL realignment back in 2002. The NFL leader in point differential is the Minnesota Vikings at +61, followed by the Lions at 60, then the Bears at 47. That's right. We have the third best point differential of any team in the league. That, my friend, in it, like in my heart, in my gut, that tells me that we're good enough to be a playoff team. When your point differential is that good, and then the Packers at 41. All four NFC North teams are better than any other NFL team.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm reading that right? 1, 2, 3, 4.
The gauntlet of death. NFC North.
Insane. I'm going to say right now, I got the Vikings wrong at the beginning of the season. I said they were going to be a top three pick next year.
We all did. Coaching matters in this league. Coaching matters. Kevin O'Connell, what he's doing with Sam Darnold and company up north is nothing short of remarkable. Got to tip your cap. Minnesota is like I don't know what it is, and this is, I'm sure you're different than me, but my whole life being a Bears fan, I don't know what it is. Minnesota is like the least hated team in the division. I have nothing against Minnesota until we play them every week. Because they hate Green Bay just as much as we do. Detroit's starting to piss me off because they won the division once and they think they're just God. It's like can y'all sustain success before you start talking shit? Like shut up. Like they win the division once and they're just like, that's it. You know, like it's like, I will say, let's pump the brakes.
Watching the Lions is exciting. It is exciting to watch them. I am going to say I had a big no this week. Aiden Hutchinson, it frustrates me how he plays, like how he throws himself to the ground.
The Lions won, but at what cost?
Yeah, but I wished illness on Aiden, and then he broke his leg, and that might be on me. So I'm going to take ownership on that.
I was quite ill. I was quite ill watching the replay. If you slow it down,
nobody realized when they watched that replay, just going to the commercials, and again the Lions flopping around.
Yeah, the Lions won, but at what cost? Is Mr. Hutchinson
that could affect,
probably won't be back the rest of the year. I'll be shocked if he comes back. Maybe late in the playoffs if the Lions are there. I don't know though.
He broke his leg. He ain't coming back. There's not a 2024 player in.
I don't know.
But now they are going to have to trade for a defensive end. They if they want to, their depth behind him wasn't solid enough. I think they're going to have to trade.
I got an update this morning that they made a move, or they picked up a free agent off the streets to help. I'm not sure who the guy was. Who was it? Like a crazy big name. I'm not sure.
It was hidden behind the Devontae Adams going to the Jets.
Oh my God, that just reeks of desperation. I'm about to go on. I'm about to go on a friend's podcast shortly after this, and we're going to talk about that. And I don't think Devontae Adams lifts the Jets to playoff potential. This is a very Jets move. So
they've got an offensive line
before we wrap up the show, and I know we can start talking Commanders Bears, but I'm not quite there yet. I want to enjoy this a little bit before we do that, and we'll have a show. We'll have a show next week during the bye week to preview that game. And again, this is the Bare Necessities podcast. Make sure you guys go check us out on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you guys get your podcasts. Also check us out on YouTube. We also have a TikTok page. Please like, and subscribe and comment. Engage.
That was so good.
Engage, so good,
please. We're so proud of you then. That was very smooth.
Please.
Are you reading something there? Because that was very good.
No, I wasn't actually. Jack, before we kind of wrap up the show, I just kind of wanted to get a little bit personal. And, this was such an interesting, unique week for the Bears. And I thought this would be a really good opportunity to just kind of ask you some questions. Like, first of all, how far did you grow up away from Tottenham Stadium? And I know that's a newer stadium. I know that probably wasn't there, your whole life. But, how far did you grow up from the stadium?
All right, so it's like what? I think it's like a 3-hour drive. And
Okay.
it doesn't sound like a lot, but 3 hours is going across the country in England.
And
Like,
and tell everybody where and tell everybody where you're originally from, like what
I'm
town.
from a place called Huddersfield. It's near Manchester. That's what I tell
Okay.
people. There's nobody knows
Okay.
any of the towns around us.
Okay.
Yorkshire. If you watch Game of Thrones, it's like Winterfell.
Okay. Okay.
Jon Snow.
What is it like being a fan of the NFL overseas? And I know you became a Bears fan when you moved to the
When I
States.
moved, yeah.
But like, do you have friends over there that root for the Bears, that root for other NFL teams? Like, what is
yeah.
that like? I feel like it's different for people here that, wake up early to watch Premier League. But it's got to be a different experience over there rooting for NFL.
Yeah, and especially when they go to the games, it's like it's not Bears fans and Jags fans going to this game. It's every fan of they love it. Like I have a friend who went to the Jets versus who was it? Jets Jags? Who was the Jets playing last week?
Vikings.
Vikings, yeah, Jets Vikings, and he's a Titans fan, and they spend the money to get down there, have an experience down there, go back up. I'm in a fantasy football league I've got Vikings, Corey. I've told you about Corey before. I've got Vikings fans, Philly fans, Jets. Across the board, so it's taking off. I honestly think I'm excited for England in the NFL because I really do think, and I don't know how popular this is going to be, but I really do think there is going to be an NFL franchise in England. Yes, it's an 8-hour flight, but I mean realistically, when you're flying from, East Coast to West Coast, what's that? Is that a 6, 7, 8-hour flight? What's that?
Yeah,
if you're flying from like New York to
6,
LA,
like 6, 7 hours, something like that. I've never done it, but
yeah. So a flight from New York over to England is 5.
And then just like the NFL London series in general, like what are your thoughts on that? And I mean, we joke about it all the time, but I mean, do you agree? I mean, the Jaguars are playing again for the second week in a row. They're playing the Patriots on Sunday. They remained in London. They've been practicing there.
Inside,
it's gonna be the London Jags, right? It's only a matter of time.
Oh no. So the owner of the Jags is also
Shad Khan.
I don't know if he's. Yeah, I think he is still the. I don't know if he sold the team or not. I'll have to go double check. Is the owner of Fulham? Fulham Cottages. Terrible name. Fulham owner. Let me tell you. Because if he is still that owner, Fulham owner Shahid Khan,
Yep.
it's the same guy that owns. So it's one of those things where I think in the long run he is planning on moving that team over, and it would make sense to do that, especially because he is the owner. He can do what he wants with this team. If there's going to be a team that's going to move to the NFL from America to England, it will be the Jags. I would say it's going to be within the next 5 years.
I'll be shocked if it's in 5 years. I do think it's within 10 though. But where it's heading and just how many international games we're starting to see every year. I mean, it's more and more
Germany,
Brazil,
Mexico,
Germany,
yeah.
exactly. It's definitely trending that way. So
The one thing that's going to happen though is it will not suddenly be like every person in England is now a London Jags fan. Everyone will still want to root for their own team, and they will still go to watch the games. So that's the one thing that I worry about. I think they're trying to play this long game because they want to get more people to like the Jags, and so that's why the Jags are always going to play there. It's not going to work out that way. It will still be a novelty in England, but
absolutely,
it makes money.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up the show, we're not going to fully dive into Bears Commanders, although I know this is a big question mark already that a lot of people are focusing on. There's a two-part question before we wrap up the show. One, should the Bears Commanders game be flexed to the Sunday Night Football game or just the afternoon slot? Because right now they're slated to play at noon on CBS, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. And then
week 8, right?
Week 8. And then another question, what would it mean for the Bears to go in and beat Washington and shut all the national media heads up about the Jaden versus Caleb debate?
Right.
Like this is a team game, and I'm not. We both are Jaden Daniels fans. We are not
Big
here. We're not. I'm not rooting against him by any means. Jaden Daniels finished 24 for 35, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Ravens. Commanders fell short. He ran for 22 rushing yards, not the best effort. He also was sacked 3 times in the game. But like, what would it mean for the Bears to go in to Washington and beat the Commanders? Like, would that automatically elevate Caleb to, be front runner for Rookie of the Year? Because right now I feel like he is closing the gap to Jaden.
Oh, big time.
And I don't know about you, but like, I don't care about Rookie of the Year. I care about long-term success. Jaden Daniels can go win Rookie of the Year. I don't care. I want our team to win. That's all that matters to me.
Yep. I'm looking at this right now. First question, as far as I'm concerned, it can absolutely get flexed. Our game of the week for week 8 looks like it's going to be, so if I'm looking at the 3:25.
The night game is Cowboys-Niners.
The night games, I actually don't like night games. Personally, America, if it's going to be anything, I think it's going to be America's game of the week. And if we're looking at America's game of the week, that's what, the 3:05 kickoffs?
I know the Chiefs and Raiders play in that afternoon slot. You got to think, like, the Chiefs rate really well, Cowboys rate really well. So, like, I don't think those games are going to get flexed out.
But here's the thing there. It's Carolina versus Denver, trash game. Kansas, Vegas, trash game. Philadelphia, Cincinnati. That might be game of the week.
Yeah.
Buffalo, Seattle, New Orleans. No.
I could see the Denver game maybe getting flexed out. Denver is really the only mountain time zone team, so they really play that matinee, that afternoon slot well, and the NFL likes playing them in that 3:00 window. But that 3:00, 3:30 window, I'm just, it's crazy because in years past, Bears Commanders, Bears Washington, like that wasn't the sexy, that wasn't the sexy matchup.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy that, both teams have really, really solid rookie quarterbacks, and it's such an intriguing matchup, and both teams are playing good ball right now.
The flex. I would be excited to watch that game, and America would be excited to watch that game.
I think there's a deadline. I'm not specifically sure, but there is a deadline to make that game flexed out, and we should know by the end of this week if that game's going to be flexed or not. It's very interesting, and it would not surprise me if that game is moved back at least to the afternoon, so more eyes are watching it. Like, the NFL would be smart to flex that game. And I'm going to say this right now, and I'm going to knock on wood. And I'm not going to get ahead of myself, and we'll talk a little bit about more next week on the show. The Bears play well in D.C. The Bears play well in D.C.
Ooh,
I'm not guaranteeing a win or anything by that measure, but go look at the last couple times the Bears have played in D.C. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. He's Jack Lomax. I'm John Presnowski. This has been the Bear Necessities Podcast. Again, I'm through the roof right now. We're 4-2. I hope everybody this week just has a tremendous week. Go out, wear your Bears gear, rep this team, enjoy this feeling. We haven't felt this good in 4 or 5 seasons, guys. And don't let anyone tear you down that the Bears have beaten the shit franchises of the league right now, because like, the Bears aren't a bad team. I don't know if the Bears are a great team right now, but the Bears are a good team, because they're beating the bad teams they're supposed to beat.
There's no gimme in the NFL.
And at the end of the day, that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're expected to do. So enjoy this feeling. Enjoy where this Bears team is at. It's been a long road, guys. It has been a long road for all of us. And to see where this offense is right now, and to see that we finally have the guy, that we're not already looking ahead to next year's draft. We're not debating, do we have the right guy? We're not questioning Ryan Poles' judgment here. Like, the Bears have their guy. It's going to get bumpy again. The Bears schedule is going to get real eventually here. But, like,
enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah. Thank you, Jack. Enjoy where we're at. It's been a long road. I want everyone to enjoy this feeling. Have a great week. Enjoy the bye week. If you guys are going to go to the pumpkin patch with the kids, do it on Sunday because we got the bye.
And when your Chicago Bears shit.
Yes, and wear your Bears stuff to the pumpkin patch. Enjoy this, Bears fans. He's Jack Lomax. I'm John Presnowski. This has been the Bear Necessities Podcast. Be good, be well, and don't forget to bear down.